I am so excited to meet you. I was hoping to catch you at D23 at Comic-Con, but here we are finally. Third time's the charm. I'm glad we waited because you were fantastic in this movie, and now we get to talk about it.
Oh, incredible. Thanks for having me, Brandon.
Of course, of course. So I want to start with your introduction to Riri Williams. How did you first meet the Ironheart character that you got to portray so well in Black Panther Wakanda Forever?
Man, I first met Riri in, I want to say it was maybe 2016. It was my sophomore year in college. I was in my dorm room, which actually happened to be the smallest room in this house. It was in the attic. and the imagery was going around. It was like viral at the time of this deeply melanated girl with this huge fro and a red shirt with the Iron Man head like under her arm, and that was my introduction to Riri in my dorm room. And I remember thinking I was wondering if it was official or not, or what, but that was, oh man. There you go.
I got it right here, exactly what you're talking about, I think.
But yeah, man, that was the introduction.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, and now you get to play this role. And in those comics, one of my favorite things is how much she looks up to people like Tony Stark specifically. There's that moment where she goes and sees the Hall of Armor and she geeks out over like the Silver Centurion and different stuff like that, like many of us would. And she deals with the AI Tony. I want to hear from you. Your version of Riri Williams in the MCU. What do you think she thinks of a guy like Tony Stark and Iron Man? Because they're not exactly the same in comics and movies.
They definitely are like similar, but definitely like two independent, I guess, expressions of this beautiful mind. And I think that the answer to that is honestly best left to the series next year. So that's really where you'll have to come for the truthful answer to that question. But I definitely think that in Riri's creation of this suit or pursuing a build like that, there is like an inherent acknowledgement of what Tony Stark did by creating this suit of armor. And I think for someone as ambitious as Riri Williams, that's like, it's without a doubt something that draws you in and catches your attention, and that you want to sort of, as you can tell from the movie, that ambition will lead where it will lead. And this time around, It's led to her being in line with him, creating her very own suit of armor.
A lot of people, when they take on a superhero role, they play. It's a decade of their life. Are you? Is that something you're hoping for? You're excited for? You ready for the long haul with Ironheart?
Man, I think the primary thing that I was thinking about when I was considering this role and really stepping into it was also being able to explore the world that exists outside of the MCU, because I want to do so many different and so many cool like types of work and hopefully birth a lot of different, very varied characters. But I got to tell you, man, it's been 2 years since I first got this role, and I have fallen in love with Riri Williams. So I think as long as we're able to get to hear from her, as long as people want to receive her, as long as people want to know what she's thinking or where she's headed next, then I'm right there with you, ready to bring her into any room, to bring her into any room. She's welcome, and maybe even somewhere she's not.
Like this. Yeah, hey, that's true. I think it's really cool that this will open some really awesome doors for you. And kind of going off of that, I find it really interesting. You got to join a franchise with a lot of people who have done this before in the Marvel sense of it all. And Riri gets mentored by Shuri. Was there anybody who, when you got the part, when you were welcomed onto set, was it Letitia Wright? Was it Ryan Coogler who said this is, gave you advice on how to navigate life once you join the Marvel universe? Because things obviously do change, new doors do open.
Yeah, that was Tish for sure. That was Tish all day, every day. She was the very first person from the cast to come up and introduce themselves to me, and she made it very clear. She was like, whatever you need, I'm here, and was very vocal about the fact that the MCU, this is truly its own universe, its own sort of thing. And just as an actor, young actor to young actor, young woman to young woman, really opening and availing herself for whatever I might need, but also just to affirm that, like, yeah, you are here because you deserve to be. You are the one that is playing this character for a reason, and encouraging me to stand in that. So that was absolutely Tish.
As I head out of here, there's so many rumors about the Ironheart series. I do have to ask something the fans are talking about. Is Mephisto actually confirmed?
Oh man, the series is on its way. We just finished filming actually in on November 2nd, and I think there's certainly a lot for fans to sink their teeth into, especially if they enjoyed what they got to see of Riri Williams in a whole other world that was not her own. I think they might be in for a good time stepping into a world that is her own.
I can't wait to see more. You did such a good job in Wakanda Forever, and welcome to the MCU. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
Thank you so much for the conversation.